Some stories don't disappear. They just grow quiet. And sometimes the thing you believed you have lost was never gone. It was just simply waiting for you to stop running. I want to ask you something gently. When was the last time you felt like yourself without explaining why? Not a version of you that performs, not a version that adapts, but the one that reaches a little deeper when no one is watching. That's the self we are meeting here. I'm not here to take you back to childhood, not to memories that don't feel safe or places that feel unfinished. This isn't about the past. It's about meeting that part of you that grew up carrying everything it had to carry and somehow stayed alive inside. There is a name you once answered to, not spoken out loud, a feeling. It felt like curiosity, like honesty, like doing something simply because it felt right. Before you learned to be careful, before you learned what was too much, before you learned which parts of you were welcome and which part of you needed to soften, shrink, or even disappear. Life teaches us many things. Some of them are useful, but some of them were never meant to stay. And without noticing, we've been answering to different name. The reliable one, the strong one, the agreeable one, the one who tries. None of these are wrong, but they are not the whole of you. I once worked with someone who said, I don't know who I am anymore, but I know I am tired of pretending I do. And that sentence stayed with me, because forgetting yourself doesn't happen suddenly. It happens politely, gradually, through adaptation, through doing what works, through surviving. We don't lose ourselves in chaos. We lose ourselves in functioning, in adapting to something that no longer serves us. And this is where the word forgetting becomes important. Because forgetting isn't a passive word. It's active. It's made of two movements. For and getting. For tells us why. For safety, for love, for belongings, for peace, for not being too much. To get is to take on, to receive, to hold. We get identities, we get expectations, we get roles, labels, coping strategies. So forgetting in this sense isn't failure. It's what happens when you become someone for something else, for someone else. And not because you were wrong, but because you were intelligent. Because at some point, the version of you that existed freely wasn't the version that felt safest to be. So, you adapted, you refined, you learned, you grew layers. But the self itself didn't disappear. It waited. Here is something not many people say out loud. Authenticity doesn't feel loud. It feels like relief. It feels like a small exhale in your chest. A subtle warmth. A sense of rightness that has nothing to do with how other responds or what they think. That intuitive knowing, that's how you recognize it. Not by applause or approval, but by the body itself. By your body say, yes, this is me. And maybe there is a part of you that needs forgiveness here. For not knowing then what you know now. For choosing survival when choice felt limited. For adapting when staying open felt unsafe. Nothing about that was failure. That was intelligence. That was care. That was love, doing the best it could to hold you together with what it had. So, if you notice a subtle tenderness rising as you listen, that's not weakness. That's recognition. the self you are returning to is not a child. It's someone older, wiser, more colorful. Someone who has walked through loss, confusion, and growth, and stayed curious anyway. Someone who remembers joy not as a memory, but as a signal. A quiet ray of light that appears when you stop trying to be anyone else. And as you sit here, or walk, or rest, or listen while life continues around you, notice if there is even a tiny moment where your breath feels more like yours. And that's enough for today. No conclusions, no resolutions, just the beginning of remembering that you were never broken. I'm here with you, and we'll keep walking this path together, slowly, kindly, one quiet recognition at a time.